Peace and blessings. Happy Build a Boat Sunday. It is Sunday, October 15th, I think. The weekend after the boat show, which was a very, very good boat show. I had a great time. Both days I went. So it's my first time working since the Tuesday or Wednesday before the boat show. So if you recall, we were about to cut frame 31. But I had a problem because the dimensions of the frame weren't matching what's on the drawing. So I went through and I double checked all the angles that had been cut previously, and they were wrong. So what I have to do now, I guess I'll explain this to you. Here we go. Much better. So of course the frame is in 3 pieces. And so they were pre-cut, I thought, to these lengths. I'm not sure who cut this frame out. I did have some help back in the day when this was done. So both of these angles are wrong, here and here. So what I'm about to do now is recut this piece to get this angle right. Then I'll lay it out here. This is the center chine piece, which of course is that small piece. This is the bottom of the hull here, and that is the shear there. So I'm getting ready to cut that piece. Then I'll lay it out on the table, readjust the dimension that's supposed to be here, which is again 10 foot 1 5/8, and I did double check that on the computer, and then make my cuts there. So it's got it set up. I guess I'll go ahead and make that cut. Okay, so got the piece cut, and I already had this laid out. Can't really see it. So now we're going to go ahead and lay that over. It's supposed to be. Double check it with the wood here. Again, you can't see it. I guess I gotta adjust that slightly. Alright, this is better. So, this is the angle it's supposed to be here. It's my little angle. Okay, let me see. Looks pretty good. Yep, looks pretty good there. So now I will go ahead and adjust the second one. This is crazy. I need camera help. I've got a little burr on the wood here. You can see that or not. A little burr. I'm going to take the chisel and work it down just a little bit. Okay, got that better.
Unsettled alien.
You're such an anarchist. Why you run?
Yeah.
All right, so I've had to take this apart and measure it a couple times, but thanks to my neighbor that doesn't want to be on camera, gave me a hand. It's hard trying to get all 3 angles. So you've got a known angle, and you've got a length. So We finally got it done. So I'm getting ready to cut this here, recut this one again, because as you see, it was off a little bit more. But I think we finally got it to match. This has been the hardest frame I've had to cut in a while. Maybe I'm rusty since it's been almost a year since I've done one of these. So let's go ahead and get set up and we'll cut both of these angles. Okay, so we finally got the frame ready to go. Frame 31. It's right and true. Yeah, this joint's much better than this one, but it's popped up a little bit. Let's push it down, squeeze it. So what we're going to do before we actually glue this one together, I'm going to take the sister of this, which would be this one, and I'm going to lay it out and trace these boards on top of this one, because of course we have two frames, one on each side. All right, so we've got the chine plates nicely sanded, just in case some of you who've not seen me in this phase before, because I think I've got about 1,000 new subscribers since the last time I probably did this. The chine plates go on the chines of the frames. So you have a large chine plate, which of course would go on the large chine, like so. And you have the smaller chine plates, which I call the uppers, that go on the upper chine, like so. And so these get glued and screwed down to make up the chine for the frames. So we've gotten these nicely sanded and should be ready to go. Also, just in case you didn't know, these are made out of 1/2-inch marine grade Douglas fir plywood. Let's see if you can see that. See the no voids. It's nice solid layup. This is not the BS 1088 standard. This is just regular marine grade plywood, because it won't be on the outside of the boat. On the exterior, we are going to use BS 1088 marine grade plywood, just like we did for the dinghy over there. Oh well, you can't see it. But I used Okumi and Meranti, a little bit of both on that. The majority of the boat, the hull is made out of Okumi, and the pram bow and the transom are made out of 3/4-inch Meranti. And I want to use Meranti for the big boat because I like it and it's cheaper. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get this glued up and screwed. I used to use a nail gun, but I don't think I want to use a nail gun, simply because when I go to fair the frames, a lot of the frame will get, this will be eventually beveled. Depends on which way we're coming from, fore or aft. The hull has a curve to it, of course, and so these will have to get beveled a little bit. And I'm worried about where I put the nails and the ones I've done already, because I don't want to have to keep purchasing saw blade bits or blades for my planer, my electric planer, when I do this. So I'm going to kind of chill with the nails and just try to screw this and see how it goes. Also, another thing I'm going to be doing, putting down freezer paper, because I think my layup may extend a little bit past where my plastic is, and I don't feel like redrawing it. So I'm going to use the freezer paper. And if you ever need to do a layup with epoxy, the plastic coated freezer paper works just as well as the plastic. All right, but it's got to be the plastic coated kind. All right, so let's try to get some epoxy laid up. Woo woo! All right, so I'm mixing the 205 and 105. 205 is a fast hardener, which should give me about 7-8 minutes of pot life. It's been a while since I've done this. So I don't remember my ratios for this, but let's start with 2 scoops for 4 pumps, and half of it flies out of the pot. Again, wide base, as to, you see how I'm holding it so that there's no heat from my hand really being transferred into it. And usually I use this in the winter because it is, I think, good to 45 degrees. And that's too soupy, so let's give it one more. It's probably a 1-to-1 ratio, but better safe than sorry. Don't want to waste this stuff. So I'm almost out of my West Systems epoxy. And I got a great package in the mail this week from one of my viewers, or 2 of my viewers, I guess. And you probably know them because they have their own podcast and YouTube channel. And it is Steve and Brandy from the Sailing Road. Steve is a big proponent of, oh man, I forget it, it's in the house. I'm going to do a review of the epoxy itself, but he's a big proponent of this system of epoxy. And so he was generous enough to send me some to use. So Steve, that was right on time, my friend. Thank you. Definitely appreciate that. And if you haven't checked them out, please check out the Sailing Road. It's R-O-D-E, not R-O-A-D. But I think that's about what we want. Nice, and it's not exactly peanut butter, but it's good. All right. Forgot I gotta show you what I'm doing. Put on all the ends. We want to get some good squeeze out, so of course we leave a little bit of extra in there. Make sure we've got a good bond. So, leave a little bit extra. Right. Getting the squeeze. That squeeze out. All right, good, good, good. So, clean up a little bit. And of course, we're getting ready to put the chine plates on, so we don't have to clean up so much. I like to just lay these out as well and just coat them. My glasses are falling off my head. I guess I better take them off. Forgot my safety strap. See that? A little on the wood. Okay. We've got it glued up. We've got the chain plates on, the chine plates. And so now we're putting the screw in. Make sure it's still good. Countersink just a little bit. We're using the star head screws. I think these are epoxy coated. I'm going to just do one on each piece for now. Until I can double check. The measurements. Keeping these about 1 inch in case we have to, or when we have to do a little adjusting or fairing of the frames. Screws won't be in the way. Alright, getting good squeeze out. Now I'll check my length to length dimension. See what we got. Supposed to be 10 foot, 1 5/8. In the end, I assume we're going to have to do a little adjustment, as always. And hoo-hoo! Yes, Lord. We were only a 16th under. Great. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and screw them down. It's not good at all. Can't see anything. Oh well. You'll have to trust me. I'm going to get them screwed down. But I guess I'll show you the amount of squeeze out. Good joints. Be right back. And that is what one glued up frame looks like after a year trying. Very neat. Very nice. Good joints. Screws are all in. They're all filled with epoxy a little bit, as much as I could get in there. And yes, that is it. Alright, now usually I used to do the bottom at the same time, but that required me to use the nail gun. So, luckily I'm using this fast hardener, right? It should set up pretty quickly. I did use too much. You see, I got way too much left over in that pot. That's more than I like, but nonetheless, like I said, I haven't done it in a while. So, ooh, yeah. So, guess I have to wait about an hour. Then I can put the other side on, the bottom chine plate, or the other side, other chine plates. It didn't have any lacquer thinner, acetone, or denatured alcohol, so I brought out this paint thinner, which is not working. So I think well, it's only a towel, but I had to use a towel to kind of clean the edges up on the layup. And I guess that's it for now. I won't be doing any more recording because my phone is nearly full. I made some other videos and I haven't deleted them yet because I have to transfer them to my cloud. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this return to Build a Boat Sunday. The Ravens lost. I'm not watching anyway. But nonetheless, they lost. So guess I spent my time doing something worthwhile instead of watching football. Anyway, not to be political, but I hope you had a good weekend. And until next time, peace and blessings. And let's get one more look at that fantabulous boat frame.